네, 행사 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 안녕하십니까. 저는 주한이스라엘대사관 경제무역대표부 송지훈 상무관이라고 합니다. 오늘 이스라엘의 기술로 보는 메타버스의 미래 온라인 세미나에 참여해 주셔서 감사의 말씀을 드립니다. 금일 행사는 현재 화면에 보이는 순서로 진행이 됩니다. 참고로 질문사항은 밑에 Q&A 버튼을 누르시고 입력을 하시면 됩니다. 영어, 한국어 모두 가능하며 발표 시간 중에 답변을 드리거나 또는 행사 후에 별도 확인하여 회신을 드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 본 행사는 2월 28일부터 있는 MWC 행사의 이스라엘 국가관 활동의 일환입니다. 화면에서 보시는 이스라엘 국가관 홈페이지를 통하여 19개 참가 업체를 확인하실 수 있습니다. 해당 내용은 추후 별도 메일로 다시 안내를 드리겠습니다. 그러면 주한 이스라엘 대사관 아키바 토르 대사님의 인사말로 행사를 시작하겠습니다. Ambassador, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, June. I'm really happy to participate in this first Metaverse webinar between Israel and Korean companies. My only regret is that we're doing this on Zoom, and we don't yet have the technology to do this meeting in a virtual version of Jerusalem or Tel Aviv, where I was actually thinking of maybe a cool pool somewhere in the Negev desert where we can actually feel the water lapping up against us, and maybe we could even be drinking tea in this metaverse. As an embassy, we're very focused on this new technology, and we're aiming to become the first Israeli embassy in the world actually to have its own metaverse, which will be dedicated to 60 years of Israel-Korea relations. We're busy working on it and planning the architecture of this metaverse right now. I have to say, I'm certain that meta technologies will take us to the very essential places that we need to go in the next years and decades. And I'm not talking about gaming, and I'm not talking about some of the stranger practices which maybe happened in Snow Crash carried out by high-row protagonists. I'm talking about all manners of medicine, exploration, automation. I think the meta technologies which will be developed will do things that we can't even dream of what they're going to do for us yet. There's no doubt for me that Israeli code and innovation and Korean design and imagination need to find a way to cooperate and work together on this new frontier. I want to thank the Israel Economic Office in Seoul, Yaniv Goldberg, its director, and Jion Sung, who organized this webinar, for all of the organization. Thank you very much. I'm very, very much looking forward to hearing the presentations by the Israeli companies and also by comments by the participants. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. 감사합니다. 다음은 소프트웨어정책연구소 메타버스 연구팀 이승환 팀장님의 기조연사가 있겠습니다. 팀장님 발표해 주시죠.
예, 반갑습니다. 소프트웨어정책연구소 이승환입니다. 오늘 이후에 4개의 중요한 기업 발표가 있어서 제가 10분에서 한 15분 사이 정도 간단하게 메타버스에 대한 오버뷰를 조금 간단하게 드리도록 하겠습니다. 저에 대한 소개는 저희 그전에는 현재 소프트웨어정책연구소에 있고요. 그전에는 삼성경제연구소와 KT에서 좀 근무를 했었습니다. 지금 보시는 게 지금 우리가 연결되어 있는 아주 기본적인 방식들인데요. 우리가 텍스트와 보이스와 이미지와 영상을 통해서 연결되어 있죠. 우리가 비트를 통해서 연결이 되어 있는데, 비트를 마치 점으로 비유한다면 점이 모여서 선이 되고 선이 모여서 면이 되는 것처럼 우리가 기본적으로 이러한 4가지 형태로 연결되어 있습니다. 이동하면서 아니면은 유선 인터넷으로 혹은 모바일 인터넷으로 연결이 되어 있죠. 우리가 지금 모두 다 관심을 가지고 있는 이 다음 연결점이 바로 이 공간인데요. 버추얼 스페이스인데, 이 공간 안에서 앞으로 우리는 엄청나게 SF 같은 일들이 생긴다는 거죠. 지난 20년도 굉장히 놀라웠는데 앞으로 20년도 굉장히 흥미진진할 거라는 거고, 우리가 2D 인터넷 세상보다 앞으로 3D 가상 세계에서 훨씬 더 많은 시간을 보내게 될 것이며, 전 세계 지금 컨텐츠가 굉장히 많은데요. 그 중에서 지금 3D로 만들어져 있는 컨텐츠의 비중은 지금 3%에서 4%밖에 안 된다고 합니다. 우리가 앞으로 본격적으로 굉장히 가상 공간 안에서 굉장히 많은 시간을 보내게 되겠죠. 우리가 메타버스와 이 가상 공간이 정말 중요한 연관점들이 있는데 지금 회사의 사명을 바꾼 메타가 메타버스를 다음과 같이 정의하고 있습니다. 가상 공간의 집합체인데 가상 공간이 굉장히 많다는 뜻이죠. 이 공간이 물리적으로 떨어져 있는 사람들이 만날 수 있는 공간이고 서로 뭔가를 친구도 만나고 일도 하고 놀고 배우는 그런 쇼핑도 하고 우리가 공간에서 지금 모두 하고 있는 일들입니다. 유니티는 메타버스를 우리가 다양한 사람들이 운영하는 공간이라고 했으니까 가상 공간의 집합체랑 의미가 같고 비슷하죠. 서로 방문하면서 새로운 가치를 만들어내는 그런 하나의 우주라고 볼 수가 있는데 요약을 하면 우리는 지금 이 물리적인 지구 위에 살고 있는데 사실 굉장히 많은 가상의 행성들이 이미 만들어져 있고 앞으로 더 많이 만들어지겠죠. 굉장히 이 가상의 행성들이 돈을 버는 방식도 다르고 거주하는 방식도 다르고 생긴 목적도 굉장히 다양합니다. 그래서 이런 행성들을 우리가 수없이 오가면서 살게 될 텐데요. 보시는 게 직방이라는 회사가 작년 상반기까지만 해도 강남역에 있는 건물로 모두 다 출근을 했는데 이제 가상의 30층짜리 건물을 지었죠. 이렇게 가상의 건물로 들어가서 PC 화면으로 그들이 지금 일하고 있는 PC 화면 모습인데 들어가면서 일을 하고 올라가면 가까운 우리 동료들을 만나서 이제 얼굴 보면서 일을 하는 거죠. 이제 오프라인으로 건물을 출근을 하지 않죠. 모두 다 이제 가상으로 출근을 하면서 일을 하고 있습니다. 이 회사에서 일을 하려면은 이 회사에 입사를 하려면 면접을 이쪽으로 와서 봐야 되죠. 이제 지금 제주도에 한 달 살기 하면서 일하고 있는 직원들도 있고요. 글로벌에 있는 어떤 인재라도 지금 가상으로 출근을 하니까 이제 출퇴근이 가능하다고 합니다. 지금. 컴투스라는 회사가 지금
회의실에서
만든
주간 보고 회의
메타버스
있습니다.
일하는 공간이고
잊지 말고 참석하세요.
아 회의. 아 깜빡했는데. 침착하게 까먹지 않은 척해야지.
강화를 통해서
그 직방의 직원은 지금 한 300명쯤 되는데 지금 컴투스는 직원이 한 2,500명 되거든요. 올해 지금 이 메타버스 일하는 공간으로 지금 다 옮긴다고 하고 지금 발표를 이미 했죠. 그리고 이제 이번에 사명을 바꾼 메타라는 메타, 과거의 페이스북은 직원이 지금 한 6만 명 되는데 작년 6월 달에 영구 재택근무를 허용을 하면서 여태까지는 이렇게 점과 성과 면으로 만들어져 있는 지금의 우리가 만나고 있는 줌을 통해서 워크플레이스를 통해서 일을 했는데 이제는 호라이즌 워크룸스라고 하는 이런 공간에서 일을 하게 되겠죠. 그리고 인피니트 오피스라는 공간에서 같이 또 일을 하게 되겠죠, 지금요. 우리가 또 지금 가장 많이 만나고 있는 방식이죠. 지금 저희와 같은 줌, 마이크로소프트가 만든 팀즈가 전 세계에 지금 2억 5천만 명이 쓰고 있는데 이제 일하는 방식에 있어서 작년에 3개월 전이죠. 메시4 팀즈를 발표를 하고 이곳에서 이제 사람들이 더 일하게 만들겠다고 지금 발표를 한 거죠. 이곳에서 공감감을 느끼면서 일을 하게 되는데 공감감을 느끼면서 실제로 제가 한국말을 하지만 듣는 사람이 미국 사람이면은 실시간 번역돼 가면서 어떻게 보면 시간과 공간과 언어의 제약을 극복하면서 지금 일을 할 수 있는 그런 PC 기반으로 많은 사람들이 액세스할 수 있게 만들게 되는 거죠. 질문 설문 결과인데요. 많은 사람들에게 메타버스로 출근을 할 것인가 물어보면은 한 약 70%에 가까운 사람들이 메타버스에 출근을 지금 희망을 하고 있고 평생 메타버스로 출근을 하던가 아니면은 연봉을 지금처럼 기존에 오프라인으로 출근하되 연봉을 한 3천만 원 정도 더 준다라고 했을 때 그러면 어떤 옵션을 취하겠는가라고 질문을 드려보면 그래도 나는 메타버스 출근을 한다는 거죠. 70%에 가까운 사람들이 요즘은 우리가 어떤 변화가 지금 오고 있는데 내가 원턴 원하지 않던 기업이 모두 다 메타버스에서 일을 하러 가는 기업들도 있고 내가 어떤 회사의 CEO가 나는 무조건 우리 직원들이 오프라인으로 나와서 일을 해야 된다고 생각을 할 수도 있지만 실제로 직원들은 많은 부분 메타버스 근무를 원하고 있는 거죠. 이러한 커다란 방향이 변화의 움직임이 지금 일어나고 있다는 것에 주목을 할 필요가 있고 많은 분들이 이제 알고 계시는 로블록스라는 그런 가상의 행성 많은 사람들이 놀기도 하고 게임도 하는 이 가상의 행성에서 이 로블록스 스튜디오를 통해서 뭔가 새로운 디지털 자산과 아이템과 게임을 만드는 사람이 지금 1,000만 명이 넘었죠. 그리고 실제로 돈을 버는 사람이 한 130만 명쯤 되고 있고 과거의 게임에서는 돈이 사이버머니가 많아도 부자가 아니었는데 이제 로블록스에서는 굉장히 이제 부자죠. 실제로 돈을 벌기 때문에 생산과 소비가 지금 맞물려 있습니다. 로블록스 스튜디오를 통해서 오징어 게임을 지금 전 세계 사람들이 같이 지금 하고 있죠. 이 시즌이 작년 9월 달에 발표가 됐는데 시리즈가 그 주에 해당되는 그 주에 로블록스 관련된 게임이 지금 한 300개가 나오고 그 다음 주에 1,000개가 더 나오죠. 약 한 2주 동안에 사람들이 이런 생산적인 도구 스튜디오를 통해서 자신의 아이디어를 만들고 막 구현해내는 거죠. 한 1,500개의 게임이 2주 만에 나오면서 재밌는 게임들이 수익이 나고 사람들이 막 참여를 하게 되는 거죠. 네, 제표터라는 곳도 그런 곳이고 지금 2억 5천만 명이 지금 모여 있고 여기서 지금 뭔가를 만드는 사람이 한 200만 명 되는데 작년까지만 해도 6만 명밖에 되지 않았습니다. 여기서 굉장히 이제 많은 사람들이 또 이 스튜디오를 통해서 디지털 아이템을 만들고 실제로 지금 돈을 벌고 있죠. 이 렌즈라는 분이 굉장히 유명하게 월 1,500만 원 이상씩 지금 돈을 벌고 있는 굉장히 유명한 메타버스 크리에이터고 이분이 지금 이제 혼자서 월 1,500만 원 이상씩을 벌다가 이제는 매니지먼트 오라고 하는 회사를 이 안에 차렸습니다. 직원이 이제 한 15명 되고요. 본인이 CEO가 됐는데 이러한 모든 과정들이 지금 1년 안에 다 지금 일어나고 있는 일들이죠. 그리고 최근에는 렌지드라고 하는 회사를 좀 더 크게 만들어서 그 안에서 3개의 분할된 비즈니스 모델들을 가지고서 이제 글로벌 크리에이터도 채용을 하겠다고 발표까지 했죠. 이제 경제가 더 커지고 있는 거죠, 이 안에서. 블록체인 기반의 메타버스인 샌드박스에서 우리가 뭐 땅도 사고 집도 짓고 내가 원하는 자산들을 다 대체 불가능 토큰으로 소유를 할 수가 있죠. 더 흥미로운 거는 이 안에서 상존하고 있는 직업들입니다. 사람들이 이제 잡들이죠. 누군가는 이 안에서 크리에이션, 뭔가를 만들면서 지금 돈을 버는 거고 플레이 투 언을 통해서 게임을 통해서 수익을 마련하는 사람들, 그리고 이 안에서 뭐 투어 가이드를 하거나 디스커버리 형태의 직업들, 그리고 이 안에 있는 모든 자산들이 전부 다 대체 불가능 토큰으로 만들어져 있기 때문에 대체 불가능 자산을 트랜잭션하거나 커머스를 통해서 돈을 버는 사람들, 그리고 커뮤니티를 구성을 해서 입장료를 받거나 콘서트를 개최하거나 아니면 커뮤니티를 기획을 해준다거나 이런 다양한 모델들을 통해서 지금 경제가 일어나고 있는 거죠. 실제로 돈을 버는 사람들의 모델들이 굉장히 흥미로운 직업들이 많이 이제 생겨나고 있는 거죠. 사실은 이제 출시가 된 메타의 호라이즌이 메타가 가지고 있는 서비스가 지금 굉장히 많이 있지만 그 중에서 대표적인 게 페이스북이 전 세계에 지금 30억 명이 쓰고 있고 왓츠앱을 전 세계에 지금 20억 명이 쓰고 있죠. 인스타그램은 지금 12억 명이 쓰고 있습니다. 합치면 62억 명인데 전 세계 인구가 79억 명이거든요. 지금 단일한 한 기업만 하더라도 굉장히 많은 사람들을 지금 가상 공간으로 이주시키려고 하고 있고 5년 내에 굉장히 많은 사람들을 이주시키겠다고 발표를 했죠. 여기서도 새로운 월드를 만들 수 있는 도구와 이것들을 통해서 사람들이 돈을 벌 수 있게 만드는 장치들을 다 마련해 놓고 NFT를 붙여서 대체 불가능 자산을 만들게 하겠다는 거죠, 전부 다. 이러한 노력을 하는 기업들이 지금 메타 기업 하나가 아니죠. 글로벌 선도 기업들 모두 다 노력을 하고 있고 국내에 있는 기업들도 마찬가지입니다. 그래서 우리가 생각하는 것보다 굉장히 빠른 변화가 우리 눈앞에 펼쳐질 수 있다고 좀 생각이 들고 있어요. 실제로 이제 작년에 폭스에서 방송했던 이제 알트이고라는 프로그램이죠. 사람들이 오프라인 무대에 지금 참석해 있고 무대 위에는 지금 가상의 아바타가 노래를 부르는데 우리가 이제 가상의 아바타의 노래를 듣고 눈물을 흘리면서 앙코를 외치고 있죠. 지금 이러한 시대가 지금 열렸습니다. 전혀 다른 방식으로 우리가 또 뮤지션이 되어볼 수도 있는 거죠. 우리가 웹툰을 그릴 때 밑그림을 그리고 난 다음에 이제는 인공지능이 자동으로 이렇게 채색도 해주거든요. 웹툰 AI 페인터라고 네이버가 작년에 발표한 그런 이제 기능들이죠. 우리가 메타버스 공간 안에서 뭔가를 만들려고 할 때 굉장히 다양한 모듈들, 이제 생산 활동들을 할 수 있게 다양한 도구들이 막 인공지능과 함께 이제 등장을 하게 되는데 제가 이제 이러한 도구들의 힘을 입어서 웹툰을 만들었다고 하면은 이제 이 웹툰의 IP가 메타버스 공간으로 이제 다 연동이 되겠죠. 메타버스 안에서의 수익 모델을 제가 만든 IP를 통해서도 만들 수가 있고 지금 더 이제 B2B적인 측면에서도 옴니버스를 통해서 지금 BMW가 전 세계의 공장 31개를 버추얼 팩토리로 지금 만들고 있죠. 공장을 전부 다 버추얼로 만들어서 생산하기 전에 먼저 가상으로도 제품을 생산해 볼 수도 있고 디자인을 변경해 볼 수도 있고 고객들에게 전달되는 뭐 딜리버리 타임도 계산해 볼 수가 있고 목표는 생산성의 지금 30%를 높이는 거죠. 이것은 우리가 이제 쉬는 공간인데 낚시하는 쉬는 공간이고 우리나라에서 만든 메타버스 공간이죠. 그냥 편안하게 들어가서 낚시하는 공간입니다. 이제 흥미로운 거는 이 낚시하는 공간인데 실제로 이것을 사용하는 사람들이 보면 낚시에 관심이 없는 사람들이 훨씬 많고 이제 우리나라에서 만든 메타버스 공간인데 사용자의 99%가 지금 글로벌 사람들이에요. 해외 진출하거나 글로벌 가입자 유치하기가 굉장히 어려운데 경계가 한계가 없으니까 그리고 이 메타버스에서 가장 낚시를 많이 하면서 즐겁게 지내시는 분이 영국의 치맥웨이라고 하는데요. 아들이 메타버스 공간을 알려준 거죠. 그래서 친구들과 함께 좀 편하게 즐겁게 재밌게 보낼 수 있는 공간을 추천해 드렸는데 아버님이 이 공간을 너무나 좋아하시는 거죠. 그래서 우리가 어떤 메타버스 하나를 잘 만들었을 때 어떤 경제적인 가치, 문화적인 가치, 그리고 사회적인 가치를 잘 만들어낼 수 있죠. 우리가 메타버스에서 이제 소원도 이루는 그런 시도들이 막 일어나고 있죠. 엄마가 사별한 딸을 만나는 그런 시도가 뭐 가상현실 다큐 드라마를 통해서 이루어졌고, 이제 우리는 메타버스에서 이제 불가능한 상상을 해볼 수가 있죠. 그리고 이 딸과 엄마가 만나는 이 가상의 공간을 이 엑스라는 기술을 통해서 만들고 딸에 대한 모든 정보를 주니까 딸이 이제 버추얼 휴먼으로 다시 탄생을 하게 되죠. 그리고 엄마가 딸에게 얘기를 하면 인터랙션이 있죠. 잘 지냈어? 그러면 딸도 대답을 하게 되는 거죠. 그리고 엄마가 지금 햅틱 글로브를 끼고 있는데 가상 공간 안에서 딸을 만지면 감각을 느낄 수가 있게 되는. 그래서 우리는 이제 메타버스 안에서 사실 이제 어떤 인간도 만들 수가 있죠. 저와 똑같은 인간, 그리고 아니면 완전히 새로운 인간, 어떤 공간도 만들 수 있습니다. 지금 현실에 있는 물리법칙이 적용되어 있는 똑같은 공간, 그리고 완전히 새로운 공간도 만들 수 있죠. 그러면 우리가 이제 시간을 과거로 돌이켜서 과거에 있던 그때 그 공간과 사람들을 또 만나볼 수도 있고, 최근에 고인이 된 가수들과 함께 이제 콘서트를 또 많이 하는 경우들이 생겨나고 있죠. 그리고 시뮬레이션을 통해서 가까운 미래를 또 예측해 보기도 하는, 우리가 메타버스를 통해서 인간과 공간과 시간의 혁명을 만들 수 있는 기존에 우리가 겪을 수 없었던 아주 초현실적인 경험들, 새로운 경험들을 만들어낼 수가 있는 거죠. 제가 좀 짧은 시간이긴 하지만 좀 굉장히 특이한 일들이 좀 있죠. 사람들이 전부 다 메타버스 공간에 가서 일을 하는 사람도 있고, 전공이 아닌 사람들이 새로운 직업을 통해서 돈을 버는 사람도 있고, 스튜디오를 통해서, 그리고 어떤 사람은 뭐 소원을 성취하기도 하고 쉬러 가기도 하고, 지금 가상 공간에 특이점이 오고 있는 것 같습니다. 이러한 특이한 현상들이 굉장히 많이 발생을 할 거고요. 왜냐하면 이 가상 공간은 과거와 달리 데이터 테크놀로지와 그 네트워크와 인공지능과 XR 기술이 융복합된 아주 고도화된 지능화된 공간이죠. 우리가 과거와는 전혀 다른 지능화된 공간에서 새로운 일들이 많이 생기는 특이한 일들이 앞으로 많이 벌어질 겁니다. 그래서 우리가 이제 메타버스로 변신하는 트랜스포메이션 전략이 좀 필요하겠죠. 메타버스에서 뭔가 새로운 것들을 만들어내고 새로운 경제를 일으키고 크리에이터들과 함께 뭔가를 또 만들어내고 기업의 생산 활동들을 굉장히 많이 분해해보고 가치 사슬에서 우리가 메타버스 전환을 만들 수 있는 어떤 방식들, 그리고 공공은 정부들은 메타버스 정부를 통해서 공공 서비스를 제공하는 방식들. 우리가 이제 메타버스가 굉장히 지금 제가 가까운 얘기들을 드렸지만 굉장히 우리가 메타버스를 멀리 보면 마치 레디 플레이어 원 같이 멀리 있지만은 새로운 혁신들은 매일매일 좀 일어나고 있고, 오늘 그런 혁신들의 사례들도 아마 다음 기회, 지금 이루어지는 4개의 발표를 통해서 또 보시게 되겠죠. 메타버스를 특정한 어떤 하나의 서비스를 통해서 이해하시면은 메타버스가 참 별게 아니고 재미없는 거라고 느끼실 수도 있지만은 메타버스는 적용되는 범위가 굉장히 넓고 폭이 깊죠. 메타버스에 어떻게 보면 그림자들도 굉장히 유의해 가면서 우리가 메타버스 전환을 좀 구상을 좀 해봐야겠습니다. 네, 이상으로 제 짧은 좀 발제를 좀 마치도록 하겠습니다. 네, 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다, 팀장님. 다음으로는 이스라엘 메타버스 기술 소개가 있겠습니다. 첫 번째 순서로 인셉션 XR의 베니 아벨님을 모시고 발표를 듣도록 하겠습니다. 베니, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Just sharing my screen. Okay, so at Inception, we're focusing on learning in the metaverse. We think that through immersive fun, we can really enhance learning for everyone. So a bit of background first. If you look at children education, these pictures say everything. It really hasn't changed for hundreds of years. It's maybe the only area in our life where the digital revolution hasn't really dramatically improved the experience. And the experience gap that children see between their games or videos, they have really nice, great, immersive experience. But then when they go to school or when they learn, they still get the same experience that they were getting hundreds of years ago. In digital education, we're not taking advantage of the latest technologies like we do in all other areas. And as a result, only 4% of the spend on education is spent on digital. So the education market is huge, but the spend on digital is really small, but it will grow fast over the next few years. Obviously, after COVID, this is growing faster. So this is the time for XR. Like all other disruptive technologies, we needed a perfect storm of different technologies, data processing and computer vision and GPU and 5G, really important. So with all of these technologies coming together, This is when XR, VR and AR are finally starting to take off. So far the use is mostly on mobile AR, where you hold your phone or tablet up in the air and you augment your reality. And consumers are now using it everywhere. Every modern phone, every modern tablet is supporting AR. But really the game change will come with the metaverse. As you know, big tech are all in. We've seen it from my previous speaker. Over a third of Facebook, now Meta employees, are only working on XR, all out of their developers. Mainstream glasses are starting to arrive. Apple will release its glasses soon. But really it will become mainstream in 23 and 24. And by 24, over $40 billion will be spent on software and services. But so far, the entire focus is on gaming and entertainment for B2C. Over 90% of the spend is just games and entertainment. And there are a lot of concerns everywhere about the negative impact of metaverse. Kids are already spending so much time on screens. What would it look like when their screens are on their faces, right? So there's a lot of concerns everywhere. So we believe that we could do better than that. We believe that games and entertainment is great, but there's an opportunity to also learn in the metaverse and have productive screen time. The metaverse allows us co-presence. It allows us to be with someone else in an experience and to have access to very realistic content and to connect learners from all over the world. So it's a massive opportunity to create positive impact by transforming learning on the metaverse and not just having fun and games. So at Inception VR, we're focusing on learning through immersive fun, which is a combination of 3D AR, interactivity, and gamification of the experience. Why XR? Because with XR you can really explain complex concepts. You promote independent learning. It's like the lab of the future, and create real engagement and connection between kids. Again, my previous speaker talked about how it enhances imagination and memorability. So when you ask kids a month after an XR experience whether they've been there, 90% of them will tell you that they've actually been there. So it really enhances their understanding and their memory and recollection of the experiences. We started with Bookful. Bookful is the largest AR reading app in the world. We've got hundreds of books. Kids are using Bookful to read virtually and connect with the subject matter of the books. The results are great. It's live in 6 languages. 83% of kids are coming back. And remember that this is not a game and it's not a software that they have to use. So they are spending 37 minutes in average and read 17 books every month. This is our format of interactive AR reading. On the left, you can see an example of an encyclopedia, where in this case, coral reefs are coming to life all around you. You do not need a physical book, it's all virtual, and you place it on your table or on your floor, and the content of the book comes to life all around you. So here you learn about the coral reefs, and on the right you can have fun with the Smurfs. The library has over 450 live books in fiction and reference. We've licensed them from all the top book publishers and studios. It has different reading levels from the age of 3 all the way to 10 years old, different categories. You can read it to yourself or have it read to you. You can have your grandparent read the book to you, and the child would listen to it before they go to bed. It's got dictionary and translation and a lot of different features. But then we've created this concept of book worlds, so that around every book there are different activities, fun and educational activities that help you connect to the book and understand it better. So you can dance or paint the character of the book and they come to life all around you. You spell and pronounce the word that you've just learned from the book. There's assessments and quizzes. And then with Book World, you can actually go into the world of the book, and I'll show you a couple of examples in a minute. Feedback is great. We're winning a lot of awards. We get from parents and teachers and kids every day. They tell us that this is the first time that their child is reading, and what an impact it made on their life. We've been featured in the app stores over 1,000 times in different countries. So we knew that we're really helping kids read and connect with learning, but now we've ran an academic research for 3 months and tested a control group against a Bookful group and showed tremendous results. 85% of kids loved reading more after using Bookful for 3 months. And their expressive vocabulary, they spent more time with books. The professor that have ran the search was amazed of the impact that it makes on kids reading and kids' understanding of learning. But the journey only started with Bookful. We've created these 3 steps. It's the Bookful family, it's the learning together, and then it's learning in the metaverse. I'm going to say just few words on each of them. This is the Bookful family. Started with Bookful, then we created focused apps that are focusing on specific learning outcomes. Then we partnered with some of the top telcos in the world and created localized, customized versions for them. And again, I'll show you some of these examples. This is step 2, where we connect with the leading learning organizations of the world. We will soon announce a partnership with Oxford University, creating an app called Little Oxford, which will get kids ready for school. So this is us taking our format and media and learning experience and technology, connecting it to the curriculum of the learning organization and creating the future of learning. And this is our new stage of the metaverse, where we are taking the IP from some of the leading brands we're working with, and we're taking it into the metaverse to give you a more virtual experience. There'll be some very exciting announcements soon on how these brands will work with us on bringing learning into the metaverse. These are 2 of our strategic partners. LGU Plus launched an app. It's called LG Magic Library. It's got our entire Bookful library. It's live in the app stores and on IPTV. It's been going through since 2019. U Plus is a very important partner of us. They are taking education and technology very serious, as you all know. This is an example from the US. We've been selected by AT&T as their selected educational partner. And if you're 5G AT&T subscribers, you get Bookful for free for 6 months. And we've created some experience that are only on XR and 5G. Now, just a couple of examples of what do we mean by virtual fun. So this is an example from our partnership with Sesame Street. I'm going to show you the
Are
video.
you ready for the great shape hunt? Elmo is. And Elmo's
So this
daddy
is AR
said,
meeting
"Okay,
VR. You walk
shape
around with your
hunters,
phone, you go
see
into the
what
world
you
of
can
Sesame
find
Street,
that is shaped
and you need
like
to
a
find different
circle."
shapes. So this is how kids learn about shapes
Time to
in a fun and
play.
immersive way. And this is all in your surrounding, and you walk around and you're interacting with educational content.
Hello. Elmo likes your doorway in the tree trunk. It looks like a circle.
So this was one example, just one
Are
other
you
example.
ready for the great shape
sorry.
hunt? Elmo.
This is an example of birdwatch, where we teach kids how to watch birds and how birds live in their natural habitat.
Welcome to the Birdwatch Expedition.
Again, this is AR, it's
This
all around you.
interactive
You walk around with your
experience
phone or tablet
lets you
and you feel
observe
like you're actually
wild
there.
birds
So this is
in
in
their
our office.
natural habitats. These birds are usually expert divers and swimmers and have thick feathers to keep them warm.
So you can see how with this experience, kids really learn, interact, feel emotional about the content behind them.
Storks are large birds that can reach up to 5 feet in height.
So this is our vision for how kids will learn in the metaverse. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Benny. It was a good session. 질문이 있으신 분은 밑에 Q&A 버튼을 통해서 질문해 주셔도 좋고요. 그렇게 되면 질문해 주시면은 담당하시는 분께서 답변을 드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 네. 다음으로는 에브리사이트의 아사프 아시케나지님을 모시고 에브리사이트 발표 내용을 듣도록 하겠습니다. 아사프, please have a pitch.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, it works well.
Okay, nice to meet you all. Good afternoon. Everysight is a hardware developer, develops smart glasses with the idea to bring the best mobile AR into the world. You will see a lot of content today, but if you think about it, at the end of the day, the content has to be displayed somewhere. Today it's on the phone, but tomorrow it's going to be on a device. And our mission is to bring the best mobile AR device in the world. Now, if you don't know Everysight, we are actually a spin-off of the largest defense company in Israel called Elbit Systems. And Elbit Systems today is the largest supplier of AR devices worldwide. So practically almost every pilot in the Western world uses the Elbit AR technology, including Korea itself and other countries in the world. We took that technology within Elbit and we spin-offed a smaller company called Everysight in order to focus on the consumer world and bring that great technology into the consumer hands. Now, we started that long time ago, even before the iPhone era, but through all the years, we knew that the opportunity was there. And as we can see today, every company in the world is talking about AR, XR, Metaverse. And I think that when you think about Metaverse, you understand that Metaverse requires, at the end of the day, a device, a head-worn device. And it's very, very important to have it because not everybody is going to use their phone in order to get really the whole richness of the Metaverse. So when you're looking at Everysight, people ask me, okay, so what is the difference? Because we have heard about a lot of companies that are in this domain. So we're focused on the mobile devices, meaning devices that you can go out in different environments and get information on the go itself. Now, this has been done by others, or others have tried to do that. And obviously it hasn't happened till today. And the reason is because comfort and style are key factors in mass consumer adoption. And when you're looking at the technologies that other companies are bringing into the market, they're not really relevant to the mobile world, as you can see on the left. And I'm sure that some of you have seen them by themselves. They provide you a very nice picture and image, but obviously nobody can really walk with them on the street or do anything else outdoor. So it's not relevant. So Everysight has been focusing on the mobile world. And if you see us in comparison to others, in order to be there, okay, you have to meet requirements which are both indoor and outdoor. In order to be mobile, it has to be very small, it has to be very affordable. So there's a long list of requirements, and I'm just putting here some of the requirements that are required in order to really be fit to meet the requirements of the outdoor AR market. Okay, obviously it has to be very lightweight, so you can use it all day. The brightness has to be enough in order to be seen in outdoor environments. It has to be in a price bracket that people can actually buy it. So it has to be manufactured very, very cheaply. And there are other areas which are very important in order to meet the requirements. And that is where Everysight is really focused. So people ask me, how do we do it? What is the difference between what Everysight is bringing to the table and others? And I'll dig down a bit into the tech. It starts with the optics. Okay, we're bringing our proprietary beam optics, which we took from our legacy company, made it very, very small. It enables you to work in outdoor environments. It has a high brightness OLED display, and that enables us to work for many, many hours because the OLED is very, very efficient battery-wise. And if you compare it, and I'm not going to go over the table, but if you compare it to other technologies that you see today, like waveguides or direct laser beam scanning, you will see that there's a very big difference between what we are bringing into the table and the others are bringing. Just to focus on one area, the optical efficiency, which is very, very important, because actually the optical efficiency of the system tells you how much battery you need in order to get the brightness into the eye. So it's worth maybe looking just on one specific area. Let's say that you want to have, okay, a binocular system, and you're designing a full color binocular system, and you want to understand what are the weight implications. Obviously, if you have a system that is not efficient enough, you will need to have a very big battery, and that will cost you in weight. So when you compare, for example, the waveguide with the Everysight beam, you will see that this is a challenge. So what I'm showing over here is of a comparison. Let's say you have two display engines with their image sources, one for each eye, and the battery that is required to drive those image sources. So this is something that if you compare the technology of Everysight with the technology of the waveguide, you will see a big difference. Now, just to remind you that we're limited to 50 grams. So at the end of the day, the whole system that you put on your head cannot be more than 50 grams. So this is very important. And this is where the magic happens. You can see here in orange, our technology, Everysight beam, and in comparison to a typical waveguide, it doesn't really matter which waveguide you use. And you can see here that the waveguide starts with a much heavier design, mainly because it's glass. And our design is made of plastic, therefore it's leaner in weight. And you can see also the efficiency of the battery. So even if you drive the system continuously for 5, 6, 7 hours, will still weigh under the threshold of the 50 grams. Okay, and if you compare it to the waveguide design, it will be bigger and bulkier. And that is the main reason why the systems are very big today when you see them in the market. And this is very important because if your optical engine is light enough and the battery is small enough, it gives you enough gap to put in the frame and the other electronic elements and still keep the weight under 50 grams, which is essential to meet the requirements of mobile AR. So once you have the optical solution, obviously it's important, but still you need to add all the other components. Here I'm showing our legacy Raptor. Okay, it's not a new design. And you can see here, we put the optics. You have to add the ergonomics, which are very, very important to fit all the heads inside. All the electronic component has to be smart, driving the applications and the memory and the connectivity, all the sensors inside. So when you move your head, information moves together with you. The lenses have to be interchangeable so they can work day or night. Safety is an important factor because you tend to fall sometimes or go in rain in outdoor environments. So everything needs to keep on working. Controls, wireless, energy. All of these factors are crucial in order to make the system work. We have all these capabilities in-house, again, coming from our legacy. So we package everything together into a very nice and small and sleek design. And to complement that, we provide a platform solution so third parties can add their fabulous content on top of that. So we have a market, and you can see here some of the applications that are being developed in different areas. And we have an SDK that allows third parties to actually put in and use our SDK to develop on top of our platform. Our platforms can be, we can connect to smartphones and we can connect to smart watches. Here, for example, you can see one of the applications. It's a running application. It's a real application running on an Apple Watch that actually connects directly to our smart glasses. So you can use that and get all the information from the watch through the BLE channel directly in your line of sight using the glasses. And obviously that enables endless markets, just giving you an idea. Okay, we're working in the motorbike domain, sports, obviously, public safety, automotive, outdoor services, and industrial outdoor. So again, this is just some of the markets that we're working on. And now that 5G is coming in, we're working with a few networks today in order to integrate our capability into their 5G network, because the 5G network gives you additional capabilities, especially bandwidth and latency, which are very relevant to augmented reality. So if you're interested, okay, we'll be available for B2B discussions. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer.
Okay, thank you, Asaf.
Sure.
네, 지금 저 질문을, 네네. 질문이 하나 들어온 게 Q&A에 있고요. 그 다음에 질문을 지금 챗을 통해서 계속 올려주시는데, 챗 말고 Q&A 쪽으로 해서 질문을 올려주시기 바랍니다. 그래야 좀 더 원활하게 답변을 드릴 수가 있습니다. 다시 말씀드리지만 한글로 주셔도 제가 중간에서 전달 드리면 되니까요. 편하게 질문사항 올려주시면 됩니다. Asaf, there's a question to you in a Q&A. Assuming no technology is perfect, what is the weakness of your solution and areas that you need to work on to improve performance? I think it's yours. Can you cover that one? There's some minutes left. Also, there's another one as well.
Sure. So we are, I think the biggest challenge that we have today is actually the ecosystem. Okay, bringing applications, okay, because the system, okay, this is not the first or second generation that we're building. It really fits very, very well the outdoor world. And I think when you compare it to others, Kura and others, okay, you have to understand how much they do fit the outdoor world and how much their devices sleep in order to meet that. Vision adjustment, yes, okay, we have RX frames. So today we use them already. And it fits vision adjustment, no problem at all. And there's another question I cannot answer because it's in Korean. So maybe you have to translate it to me.
No, it's one. The questioner asked about is it adjustable for the glass frequency or the glass depth?
You have to say it again. The communication.
No. I mean the glass, in a smart glass. Can you adjust the glass depth or the glass frequency?
The focus.
Yeah, focus.
The focus distance. Yes. Okay. We can adjust the focus distance. Okay, that's adjustable. It doesn't have to be in infinity like it is in waveguides today. So that is adjustable.
Okay. Thank you. And okay. 그러면 일단은 추가 질문 있으신 부분은 계속 올려주시고요. 예. 다음 순서로 바로 진행을 하겠습니다. 다음으로는 헥사의 가빈 굿바크님을 모시고 헥사의 발표를 들어보시도록 하겠습니다. 가빈, floor is yours.
All right, let's start with sharing the screen. Okay, does everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Everyone sees the screen?
Yes,
perfect. Excellent. So good afternoon to our friends in Korea and good morning to our colleagues in Israel. Thanks very much for your interest in HEXA. HEXA empowers leading brands, retailers, and metaverse creators to tell their stories in new ways. So with the growing number of use cases and exciting possibilities for the future, we can confidently say that immersive experiences are the way of the future. And as the basic building block of any immersive experience, 3D content is definitely the new king. 3D models are the DNA of e-commerce, marketing, creation of objects for training machine vision, metaverse, NFTs, and thanks to my colleague in Israel, I also just added learning. But you can't do any of these applications without 3D models. And here's the challenge, right? 3D models are traditionally difficult, complex, and expensive to create. They're laborious. They're hard and complex to scale. It's hard to build a pipeline to do this at any kind of scale that's not ridiculously expensive and cumbersome. 3D models tend to be slow and difficult to render online and insecure. And they tend to be difficult to optimize and repurpose, which means that once you've created a 3D model, it's hard to extract value out of it. And this is where HEXA comes in. With an experienced team of close to 100 industry-leading artists, engineers, and professionals, HEXA provides the solution. The world's first immersive OS designed to create, manage, display, and analyze 3D projects at scale. So let's take a look at those pillars First of all, 3D content creation and immersive experiences. Now, what HEXA can do is take as little as a single image and create a high fidelity 3D model optimized for any use case. And that is key. Different use cases require different types of 3D models, different qualities of 3D models, different technological specifications. And that's what HEXA does. The input can be images, scans, CAD designs, whatever, and the output can be hyper-realistic 3D models. Using our AI-based platform, we can actually also achieve industry-leading speed and fidelity for about half the price of the rest of the industry. An exciting addition to the creation toolbox is, and one that we're really focusing on 2022, is the creation of synthetic photo shoots. So by leveraging those same 3D models, and this is an example here where you can see that the bracelet here is actually a 3D model. We can reduce the carbon footprint of our customers by replacing expensive and wasteful photo shoots. Products, production teams, and materials will no longer need to be transported and set up as a photo shoot. We can do all of this inside the computer. The input obviously is the 3D models, and the outputs are models, model shots, product shots, style shots, advertising materials, and we can do that within 1 to 7 days. So moving on now to the display pillar. Not only can we display in 3D, like you saw the headphones in the previous slide, but we can also create models. Every single one of our models is optimized for AR. If you have a phone and you'd like to scan this QR code, you can actually see this refrigerator in your room. Now, AR, augmented reality, has the powerful ability to increase customer confidence by letting them actually visualize products in their homes. Now, increased confidence results in higher purchase intent, lower returns, which, by the way, also reduce carbon footprint substantially, and actually give buyers the confidence they need to make high quality purchases. At the heart of our ability to scale and build custom pipelines is our custom CMS. HEXA's AI-driven 3D content management system manages production and distribution of our models. Now, our 3D engineers receive through the CMS all of the creative technical tools they need to streamline the creation and content feedback process, which achieves industry-leading efficiency and speed. Now, as you can see here, what that actually translates to is our ability to create more approved products in a fraction of the time. Now, one of the goals of HEXA's content creation ecosystem is to extract as much value as possible from each 3D asset produced. So once those assets are formatted correctly in our CMS, they can be repurposed and distributed for any use case: metaverse, e-commerce, social media, learning, and more. And here, what you're seeing here are just 3 examples. So the first example you can see live on the left is 3D content in JD.com, which is one of our partners. Now you can see on the right an activation we did just 2 weeks ago. It's a virtual try-on for the LA Lakers website through Snapchat, another one of our partners. And then thirdly, in the middle, you can now see an AR experience that created with the HEXA logo, which is similar to what we're about to do for Amazon. All of these examples are showing how once a 3D model is created, we can extract additional value through our partnerships. Now, for e-commerce specifically, HEXA's also developed an AI-aided system to analyze products, traffic, and other elements of websites to automatically select the best items for reconstruction. Not every item, specifically in the area of e-commerce, is an item that should actually be reconstructed into 3D. And there are very many things that go into a decision of whether something is appropriate for 3D. What we've done is we've streamlined that decision-making process. And when HEXA makes these selections, we can reduce the production timeline and achieve an ROI of close to 5 times investment on 3D. Now, this model is something that we've actually developed by producing thousands of products for companies like Macy's. So as for competition, there are a few players in the space, but only HEXA has a true end-to-end platform for creation, management, display, and analysis of 3D projects. HEXA is the immersive OS. We create the right assets for the right purpose and empower our partners to create the experiences, whatever their experiences they want to create. As you can see, HEXA's clients are some of the most respected names in the world, and the list continues to grow. We're also extremely proud of our technology partners, each one actively contributing to the growth of HEXA, both technologically and from a business point of view. And we're also proud to announce that we've just been selected as one of the first 50 companies in the Nova Challenge for LG, the Mission to the Future program. With this program, we'll be working with LG Nova and the team to develop immersive experiences for the future. The HEXA story is a typical startup story. From a small team, we've grown to over 100 hexagons. Our founders are actually leaders in the 3D space, and they actually actively contribute to the creation and the building of new standards for visualization and delivery of cutting-edge 3D immersive experiences. So thanks very much for your attention. I hope it was clear, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, Gavin. Actually, I have a question because it's not my question. It comes from one of the audience. The one of the audience comes from the food industry, and then that person asked whether you have some kind of experience using your technology into the food market. Whatever you have, maybe you can answer as like some of the advantage of using your solution using a food sector, food retail, something like that.
In the food sector has been less of an area that we've worked in. We're starting to work in consumer packaged goods, and essentially to create 3D models to train machine learning for automated shopping processes and autonomous shopping, so people can go to a store and pull their products off the shelves, and those shelves will automatically be rung up as part of their bill. With regard to food, in terms of like hamburgers and hot dogs and what have you, it's not something we've done typically. And typically the reason is that 3D usually shows the best ROI on high consideration items. Those are items that generally cost above $100, and they're items that require that extra level of confidence. Having said that, what HEXA does is we build pipelines for creation of 3D assets at scale. So if there were a partner who wanted us to build a pipeline for the creation of food products in 3D, that would be something that we'd absolutely be able to do, and happy to discuss it. Okay, thank you. And Rob, please wait for a second. There's some more minutes left. There is a question in a Q&A. The first one is the content conversion process performed by the machine or by human expert? And there's a second one. The Unity is in one aspect is a Unity can be a kind of customer to HEXA. Okay, so we're under NDAs with a lot of our partners, but I can actually say that Unity is someone that we work with. They're someone that we're partnered with, so that's great. Happy to talk about making that partnership, a more in-depth partnership, but we're definitely working with Unity, and we can talk to our technology team about that a little bit more. The other question you asked about the content conversion process, if I'm understanding you correctly, we call this like the 3D reconstruction process. So the truth is, if anyone tells you that that's a fully automated process, they're lying. Okay. Anyone who understands how 3D models are made will understand that they need to have the human touch in order to get them right. You cannot create a sofa for a crate and barrel that has a very, very specific kind of texture and lighting and all sorts of other specific characteristics. You cannot do that by machine. What our machine learning does is actually makes the entire process a lot more streamlined. Now, I can go into that in more detail, but just for an example, what we do is we actually can understand what similar products live in our vast ecosystem of products and use that information to enable an artist to create a content in a more specific way, more streamlined way. So basically the answer is every product that we produce goes through human hands. It's for to make sure that those products conform to the look and feel that our clients have asked us to do, but it's also part of the QA process. So that every time we create a model, it goes through 3 levels of QA to make sure that our feedback is very, very short. The client notes process is very short, which enables the process to be very, very quick. Understand that our aim is to create high fidelity models in the fastest, most efficient way possible, which serves both us and the client.
Okay, thank you. 네, 질문은 계속 Q&A를 통해서 올려주시면은 답변 드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 이제 마지막 순서에 앞서서 잠시 설명을 드리겠습니다. NIIO 발표 말미에 제가 폴 화면을 띄울 겁니다. 그 해당 화면에 나오는 질문에 꼭 답변을 좀 부탁을 드리겠습니다. 그러면 마지막으로 NIIO의 럽 앤더슨님을 모시고 발표를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 럽, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone there in Korea. Thank you for inviting us to be part of today's event. I shall share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So, I've been involved in building internet companies for many years, and I remember a few key milestones which I think would be useful to refer to in starting today. In '95, we started hearing the dial-up modem, and people were talking about this thing called the internet. Some people said, would it last? In 2005, social networks arrived. Wall Street was saying, is this a fad? And of course, the fact people were connecting on the internet was the beginning of a shift in digital culture. If we come to today, Web 3.0, Metaverse, everything to do with NFTs, I think this is probably the most significant shift in digital culture for generations. And with all of this digital noise in the world, we think it's extremely important that art and culture should be part of this new world, both in the physical and also in the digital space. We believe that art has been underpinning culture and society forever. Artists are always creating, telling the story of the world. They're telling digital stories, and artists will always use digital tools to create and to tell their story. And of course, now there is more access to digital creation than ever before. So our company at NIIO is to connect a world that is now ready to experience art digitally, both physically and in digital spaces, with artists around the world who have important things to say. And just to give you a sense of some of this, we're working with many companies around the world, including Samsung, and we're bringing this immersive digital art experience into homes, into physical spaces, commercial locations, hospitality locations, and now, of course, into the metaverse. This is definitely a pivotal moment for culture. As I'm sure many of the audience will know today, there is explosive interest in the world of digital art and NFTs. The art market was a $65 billion market, over $20 billion last year alone in the world of NFTs. And this has been influenced by the trends towards digital transformation, crypto, visual culture from things like Instagram in our world, the emergence of Metaverse. And actually, since COVID, there seems to be a much more required need and desire for more purposeful, grounded living inside people's lives. So this opportunity of art going digital is absolutely huge. In fact, some people look at this as the next content sector going digital alongside music and books and film and TV. And NIIO is backed by some of the leading venture capitalists and art world influences in the world, and is being positioned as the future of how art and culture is experienced in a digital world. Yet with all of this excitement, there were some key challenges which needed to be addressed. There is a big question over how does one curate huge amounts of content from creators and artists around the world. Most of the technology platforms dealing in the space of NFTs, for example, are only focusing on the transaction and not really dealing with the management of large immersive digital files and the way that these are displayed both in physical and digital space. There are also limited business models for both B2C and B2B audiences for discovering and experiencing this art across their spaces. NIIO's approach in being the future of how art is experienced is by building a complex ecosystem which brings together best-in-class technology, very easy to use user experience, and novel business models which enables art to be instantly experienced anywhere. So we are bringing together artists and galleries and libraries and museums, content partners, NFT platforms, thousands and thousands of students and academies around the world. And we are enabling them to reach different types of consumer audiences. People who are looking to buy and own digital art, traditional art collectors, crypto NFT collectors, consumers around the world who look to transform their space, whether it's their physical space or their metaverse space, commercial out-of-home locations and public spaces. And within this ecosystem, we're bringing many strategic partners, hardware partners, crypto exchanges, bringing all of these together, underpinned by very robust technology, which deals with the management of master files, not the creation of the files, but storage and preservation of different formats from static, moving image, interactive, code-based, generative files of digital art. A very robust blockchain infrastructure where NIIO has developed its own smart contracts, custodial wallets, it's minting on layer 1 and layer 2 blockchains, the ability to bring into the NIIO ecosystem NFTs from any other platform, the use of AI to curate content and playlists to make it easy for people to find content that they could be interested in, and then very robust distribution infrastructure for delivering and displaying this content of different file formats on any screen, whether it's in the physical or the digital space. So the result is an end-to-end blockchain platform for protecting, publishing, managing, monetizing, and displaying digital art and NFTs. We believe digital art must be as easy as digital anything, and this is what our focus is. Already today, NIIO is a global community. We have over 15,000 artworks from over 7,500 artists and galleries in 82 countries. We have thousands of locations around the world that are showcasing digital art from NIIO to millions of audience. This is in 50 countries. And we have strategic partners such as Samsung, where our technology is now accessible inside 200 million Samsung screens, and are working with a number of other partners to bring this to an even larger audience. Our opportunity or our offer, and these could be interesting discussions for the Korean and Asian markets. We actually already have offices in Hong Kong and the team in Korea. NIIO B2C is an art NFT streaming service. We are often referred to as the Spotify of art, a leading lifestyle brand, which gives you access to tens of thousands of digital artworks and NFTs from the world's leading artists, which you can experience easily and instantly on any screen across mobile, smart TV, web, the metaverse. Freemium or premium subscription service, or also the ability to buy NFTs and then display them at the click of a button, both, as I said, on mobile or on smart TV. But then we also have a robust B2B offering, which enables both commercial locations, hospitality locations, public space locations to put art in their space and to enable their audiences and consumers to leave their premise and take the art with them with revenue share opportunities. And as the world is going crazy about NFT, NIIO is actually working with brands and content partners and artists to actually develop and implement and execute their NFT strategies. We're working across thousands of locations in the world with a selected partner from a number of the leading brands, from hospitality, from commercial locations, luxury brands, and we're working with a number of technology partners on the hardware side, telcos, in order to be the dedicated go-to platform for how art and culture is experienced in a digital world. Some of you in Korea may have seen the Mondrian Hotel. This is one example of our work where the entrance area and the space is totally transformed by the use of digital artworks on these large screens. And again, everything we see in the physical world is now moving to be experienced equally in your digital world, a little bit like my Zoom background behind me as well. As well as hospitality locations, NIIO is being implemented across corporate offices where there is never a black screen anymore, and this becomes a space for inspiration and transforming the space. And the same goes for chains of hundreds of hotels across America, where NIIO has been selected as the global standard for Marriott, for Hilton, and for others. For some of you who may know the Hong Kong waterfront, we're able to take this experience back from homes into indoor spaces, all the way out to outdoor spaces, transforming physical landscapes. And again, we're seeing this move now into the metaverse, where the access to your art can reach the digital world as well. So specifically, we believe that Asia is a key market for NIIO. We're already working with a lot of artists and customers in the region. Specific B2B opportunities for the audience today, which could be of consideration. NIIO has the platform for an entire digital art and NFT strategy. We're in conversations with partners for market entrance into the Korean and other Asian markets, existing brands who have channels to that market. We're working on technology integration partnerships, bringing NIIO and integrating NIIO into different types of platforms, from display hardware, mobile hardware, and of course into immersive digital space. And NIIO is also, having already raised $25 million, is now working on a Series B round and is actually already in discussions with a number of strategic Asian investors who look to bring this brand and this experience into the Asian market. So I shall stop that there. I will thank you for your time, and we'll be very happy to answer any questions or set up any follow-up meetings for bringing art into a digital world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rob. There is one question in our Q&A. Your solution is understood to be a platform-based model. If so, can other content providers or hardware companies can be seen as a model for doing business through your platform?
Absolutely. As the ecosystem, on the one side, all of our content partners are self-publishing on the platform. We give them robust tools, both to store their content and preserve it according to international standards, but also to publish how this work is to be monetized according to either subscription models or purchase models. And NIIO also addresses everything to do with the minting of NFTs, the verification of the content source. And so it's a very robust solution for content partners. On the hardware side, absolutely. Whilst we're already working with Samsung, and we've had work with LG and with other non-Korean companies, we are looking to build an ecosystem and invite everyone to be part of this platform. So our software is always being developed and applied to different operating systems, from Tizen to OS to Android to Apple TV to smartphone platforms. So we are definitely looking to partner with as many as possible to enable the broadest possible reach.
Okay, thank you. 네, 추가 질문 제가 조금 더 설명드릴 부분이 있기 때문에 질문사항 있으시면 계속 올려주셔도 됩니다. 오늘 이제 마지막 연사분 순서는 끝났고요. 제가 설명드리고자 하는 거는 제가 서두에도 말씀드렸지만 본 행사는 저희가 진행하는 MWC 이스라엘관 활동 일환으로 진행을 하고 있습니다.
June, we cannot hear you.
죄송합니다. 아마 이거 화면 띄우면서 뮤트가 된 것 같습니다. 그래서 조금 전에 보여드린 그 화면에 보시면은 각 회사들에 대한 로고를 보실 수가 있는데 그 로고를 누르시면은 회사에 대한 정보를 보실 수가 있고요. 온라인으로도 가시지 못하는 분들을 위해서 온라인으로도 저희가 미팅이나 소개를 드리고 있으니까 필요하시면 언제든지 저한테 말씀해 주십시오. 제가 별도 메일로 안내 드리도록 하겠습니다. 네, 그리고 오늘 발표한 내용들, 특히 이제 질문사항에 대해서는 충분히 답변이 되셨는지 모르겠는데, 혹시 추가적인 질문이 있으시거나 아니면 이제 좀 더 추가적으로 개별 업체들하고 말씀을 나눠주시고 싶으시면은 저한테 언제든지 메일이나 전화로 연락을 주셔서 요청을 해주시면은 별도 미팅 자리를 마련해드리거나 아니면은 답변을 얻어서 답변을 드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 네, 오랜 시간 경청해 주셔서 감사의 말씀을 드립니다. 네, 금일 발표 업체에 대해서 조금 더 궁금하시거나 해먹기에 문의가 있으시면은 저희한테 연락 주시고요. 네, 해당 업체와의 별도 미팅을 통해서 또 답변을 드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 네, 오랜 시간 감사합니다. 네, 이상 행사를 마치도록 하겠습니다.